right, good morning, y'all. There's my IS300. I am going to be replacing most of the suspension components today. I removed the Drift HQ modded knuckles because I wasn't a big fan of the drivability of it. I know it's for track use only, but I tried to also daily it, and I figured, you know what, it's time to probably go back to stock. And during the removal of the Drift HQ knuckles, I figured I may as well replace a lot of other things while I'm in there. So I already got a lot of stuff out of the front suspension of the IS300. So here's a close-up of the IS300. I have the lower control arms out, the upper control arm out. So obviously, you know, ball joint's not there. Spindle's not here. Spindle's actually right there. And then inner tie rods are also going to be replaced as well as outer tie rods. This inner tie rod in particular is going to be replaced, not the other side. As you can see how it is, like if I take this off, this is just a tool that helped me take it off. That's what happened. And because of my external wastegates dump pipe constantly dumping on it, that is what happens to the, I don't even know if these are bushing or bearing, but that's what happens to it. It just loses all of its flex power. I don't even know what to say, but I do have a 90 1/4" that I'm hoping to weld onto there. I just hope that I can weld it onto there without having to cut any more off the dump pipe, just because I don't want to go and get my bandsaw. I'm too fucking lazy to, respectively. So let me go get that 90 piece real quick. Here's the 90 piece. I'm just hoping that I don't need a cut. I probably do from the looks of it. Oh, fucking bitch, I do. Damn. Okay, so for the time being, I won't go into boost. What I think I'm gonna do is buy the 1/4" ENT 90 connector, the ones that, you know, they have a bolt on each side and they squeeze, and that'll help shoot it off to the left because there's nothing there. It's all open space at that point. So we'll do that, but this is already loose, so I can fully take this out. That old one out, but anywho, this is everything that I got. These are from an Amazon brand, I believe. TRQ upper control arms, TRQ lower control arms, the primaries and the secondaries. And then I already had a Detroit Axle branded lower ball joint for the right side, so I just needed the left side. And this Moog one was super expensive, but I figured, you know, I may as well buy it and compare them to each other. And this Moog one, even though it's more expensive, it's I can see why. I mean, this thing is way more thick. Look at that. And then if you look at the Detroit Axle one, I mean, this thing's fucking stick compared to it. But yeah, we'll run that. And then we got this, again, is more Detroit Axle branded stuff. Inner tie rods, outer tie rods. And I'm just gonna go through with the install and probably do a time lapse on it. Yeah, I'm not gonna time lapse it. I'm just gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna do it. I'm working on the right side first, which is the passenger side. And for the upper control arm, if you couldn't actually tell how to identify it, if you lay it down, the silver compression cap right there will actually be leaning to the right when you lay it like this, and the left side will be leaning to the left. So yeah. Alrighty, this is where I'm about at right now. I have the new upper control arm in there. It is at 65 foot-pounds. I have the new lower control arm and the new secondary lower control arm. And I actually have bad news about the secondary lower control arm. They only gave me 2 right sides. I am missing the left side, so I'm going to use the other. I'm just going to keep the old left side and the other side. And then this is the new inner tie rod. It's all up in there, nice and steady. The clip is nice and pinched in for the most part, at least on one side. The other side it's not. But I mean, prior to that, the existing stock ones that were in there, they weren't even pinched on at all. Like the washers where they have to pinch over the lip. And then so lower control arm is at 80 foot-pounds. Secondary lower control arms at 80 foot-pounds. And then I believe to here is like 65 foot-pounds, which I already did. And now I just got to throw in this piece, which will then let me bolt up the coilover and the sway bar link. And then I'll put on the lower ball joint and the outer tie rod. And then I think that's it from there. And then I'll start on the other side. Oh, and I still got to put in the spindle too. So I didn't like how these TRQ lower control arms didn't come with a cotter pin type of lower control arm. That is kind of sketch to me, at least, but I mean, it'll be fine. So, all right. All right, here is everything. New upper control arms, new lower ball joint, new outer tie rod, new inner tie rod, new lower control arm, new secondary lower control arm, and yeah, good to go. Everything's all torqued to spec. Just gonna put together this side, and then I'm gonna put together the left side, and then kind of come back to when I got a fixed toe, and then we'll see how we can fix toe and make it somewhat drivable. Okay, so this is pretty much the completed work. Right here I'm showing the toe. I got it pretty straight for the toe on the driver's side as well as the passenger side too. I don't exactly know what happened right here, but the clip froze, so I'm gonna try to speed it up really quickly. And then here is the passenger side. The toe is also pretty good on this side. Man, the car, when I went to take it on a test drive, it felt like a brand new vehicle. However, the car is sitting very high because I was on the Drift HQ knuckles and I had to drop it pretty low when I went from stock to Drift HQ back to stock. So I'll have to lower the car again. I just got to go down a little under 2 inches on each side, and that should get the car sitting just right. Again, the replacements parts, everything was fine. I do want to say that the TRQ upper control arms were a bitch to wrestle in. So just kind of take the time to install new bushings and OEM ones.